Hey, True Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's April 1st, 2016. Late yesterday, a headline emerged out of Virginia State about the shooting of a police officer at the same time a police drill was going on. What we have seen historically in these manufactured shooting hoaxes that the police, media, and federal government conspire in are drills in close proximity to the reporting of the shooting hoaxes. This story is different because the shooting hoax takes place at the same time as the drill. And when I saw this yesterday, I said, here we go. This is the early April Fool's joke, already arrived, put out by the powers that be so they can have one more belly laugh at our expense while they manufacture their propaganda-based agenda. Remember, just earlier this week, on March 28th, in the nation's capital, not too far from yesterday's Virginia shooting hoax, there was a supposed shooting incident with the police and an armed gunman that came shortly after the same police department had an active shooter drill in the same location. Both of these stories coming out of Virginia, days apart, manufactured hoaxes, manufactured agenda. What I want to do is read this opening paragraph, let you witness how ridiculous it is, and then we'll watch the mainstream coverage, which is completely laughable. Here we go. CNN. A man pulled a gun and shot a Virginia State police trooper during a training exercise at a Greyhound Bus Station in Richmond, Virginia on Thursday. Both the trooper and the suspect are dead, according to Virginia State Police. We're not going to get into any details at this point. As you can imagine, this is still in the early stages of the investigation, said police spokesman Karine Geller. Here's a look at what we know about the incident so far. So we'll go on with this reporting. We'll break it all down. Let's very quickly watch part of this news coverage. Get my face out of here. Hopefully it's loud enough for you, Truth Seeker. Turn up your speakers if not.
Working for you, this is a CBS 6 breaking news alert.
And good afternoon once again. The breaking news we continue to follow out of the Diamond area on the boulevard at the Greyhound Bus Station. An active shooting scene has just wrapped up. The investigation continues. We're told by Virginia State Police just moments ago that they were called just before 3 o'clock at 2:45 to a shooting scene at the Greyhound Bus Station that you see there on the boulevard. We are told by Virginia State Police that 2 troopers and a female civilian have been transported to VCU Medical Center for treatment. So 3 people injured in that shooting scene, including 2 troopers and a female civilian. We're told the shooting suspect is in custody at this hour. We believe he may have been wounded as well, so he could too be at VCU Medical Center.
We have several crews on the scene right now. Our John Roquette he was one of the first reporters there. He's live right now in front of the Greyhound Bus Station. John, what's the latest?
Candace, the latest at this hour, I can tell you that multiple sources are telling me that the suspect suffered life-threatening injuries as well as one of the troopers inside. According to multiple sources, Virginia State Police sources, that the trooper suffered life-threatening injuries as well as the suspect. They are at VCU Medical Center as we speak. It's all kicked off about 2:45 this afternoon. I'm told by a source that actually the state police were here training. Now, we haven't confirmed that yet, but they're here for a training exercise when the gunshots erupted. We did talk to a gentleman, as I mentioned earlier, that was walking into the bus station, and he said it was right near the front door of this bus station where this all transpired. He said at first he thought something had fallen, and then he looked up to see at least 5 to 10 muzzle flashes, and he hightailed it across the parking lot to the U-Haul station where other bus riders were running out the side bays of the terminal trying to get away from what was going on inside. Again, I can tell you at this hour, multiple sources confirming that the state trooper has life-threatening injuries, and also the suspect has life-threatening injuries. We hope to get more here soon. I know that Corinne Geller and Sergeant Steve Vick are on the way to the scene, and most likely they'll have a press conference here soon, so we hope to learn more during that press conference. Working for you in Richmond, John Burkett, CBS 6 News.
Hey, John, you're one of our several.
All right, that was enough. You heard it straight from the horse's mouth. Drill going on when this shooting supposedly took place. So here's what's interesting. It happened at a Greyhound bus station, which has the gematria you see on the screen. If you're new here, gematria is the practice of coding numbers into words, and by learning this language, you can see how these hoaxes are scripted. It's always the same type of details. The victims matching the location, corresponding with the date. Notice how Greyhound Bus Station has gematria of 104. So does the name Chad Durmeyer, which is the name of the officer who was supposedly killed. I guarantee you Chad Durmeyer is nothing more than a fictional dummy. 10-4, also like message received. If you watch other mainstream coverage, what AP put out, they have this woman speaking, Corrine Geller. Her name, Corrine, has gematria of 42, like Freemason, also like bus, which is interesting since this took place at a bus station. Put it together, Corrine Geller equals 74, like Masonic, a number that shows up very often coded into the spokespeople for these shooting hoaxes. The police departments are run by the Freemasons, as is the media. Corrine Geller in simple English gematria sums to 137, the 33rd prime number. Police equals 33, federal equals 33, Washington, D.C. equals 137, 137 and 33, numbers routinely coded into the hoax. More of the reporting. The victims. The trooper killed has been identified as Chad Durmeyer, 37. Durmeyer is survived by his wife and 2 children, Colonel W. Stephen Flaherty with the Virginia State Police told reporters. A native of Michigan, talk about why Michigan is significant in the coding in just a moment, Durmeyer has served in the Marine Corps. He'd recently transferred to the Counterterrorism and Criminal Interdiction Unit, Flaherty said. 2 other people, civilians, were transported to a hospital for treatment. Their injuries are not believed to be life-threatening. All right, so then the CNN article features a tweet from Senator Tim Kaine. This is something that has become more and more commonplace in recent years, these tweets from people in government that are supposed to make the stories seem more real. Real quick, let me show you what's significant about Senator Tim Kaine and the way to identify these Masonic Zionist stooges that work within our government and conspire against us. Notice the time of his tweet, 12:58. It's likely not a coincidence that he tweeted at the 58th minute. This is a Masonic signature. Notice also the 93 reshares, 85 favorites, 85 the reflection of 58, 93 the number of propaganda, also corresponding with his name. As it happens, Tim Kaine was born in the year 58, the same year NASA was established. Freemasonry in gematria equals 58. Our nation from the beginning has been controlled by Freemasons. If you learn about NASA, every astronaut who has traveled to space has been a Freemason. NASA established in 58. His date of birth, February 26th, stands out alone. This date, very important to Satanists, as is this number sequence, 226. It's also a date with 33 numerology, the number of Freemason obsession. So much of our space program and its history is coded out with 33, like so many other Masonic ventures. He's born on a date with a life lesson number of 51, the number of Freemason and conspiracy. Also a date with 105 numerology, like Zionism and Masonry. I forgot to do the other method of numerology. It would also sum to 86, the number for symbol, triangle, pyramid, all numbers of significance coded into his birthday. His full name, Timothy Michael Kaine, gematria of 93, like propaganda, like the number on his tweet, number that shows up a lot when you pay attention to these tweets from officials. Anyhow, Let's look at the name Chad Dermeyer now more carefully, the officer who supposedly died in this hoax, who I assure you is nothing more than a dummy. The word kill in Jewish gematria equals 59. The word kill in simple English gematria equals 44. They referred to him as a trooper constantly. Trooper has gematria 44 just like officer. Chad Dermeyer has gematria 59, the kill number in Jewish gematria. Supposedly he was killed during the exercise that was about spotting suspicious people. What a joke. The big way, the name Chad Dermeyer, 104, just like Greyhound Bus Station. Notice Chad has the 16 gematria fitting for the year 2016. His initials CD also go nicely with the date. C, the third letter, D, the fourth. CD, kind of like 3-4. Yesterday was March 31st, 3 plus 31, 34. The word murder's 34. Supposedly he got murdered by whoever, during this police drill. I don't think they put out the name of the shooter this time. This information comes from Colonel W. Stephen Flaherty, remember? That name syncs well with Virginia, gematria of 89, just like Virginia equals 89. This is what I mean. All of these shooting hoaxes, it's always the same. Names syncing up with the location, syncing up with the date, again and again. Why? Because this is a practice of the Freemasons who rule over us and who rule with deceit. His name, the big way, sums to 233, which is the 13th Fibonacci number. Should be noted that 89 is the 11th Fibonacci number, 144 is the 12th. Interesting that his name has Fibonacci numbers. They said the man who died was from Michigan. Michigan has gematria 46 and 64. I always document this. In almost all of the police shooting hoax stories, they code the number 46 and 64 on the victim. The word hero equals 46. The word sacrifice equals 46. Chaos equals 46. The Masons believe in order out of chaos. All of these shooting stories of officers are part of an ongoing agenda to build the police state around us. More dollars for police, less dollars for education, more security cameras, day by day. Police chief also has gematria of 64, and sometimes I wonder if it's the police chief at these stations who know gematria who script these stories. They say he was in the Marine Corps. Marine Corps has that gematria of 59. Think about how the Marines are always the first ones to sent in, the first to die in war. Greatest loss of life always in the Marines. Marine, gematria of 59 like kill. Marine also has gematria of 33 like police. Marine, police, identical in gematria. Lots of Marines become police. Never join the military. All you're doing is becoming a mercenary of the tyrants who rule over us. Everyone in the military works against the good of humanity, whether they realize it or not. The suspect. Authorities say they have determined the identity of the suspect. They are waiting to release it pending notification on his next of kin. Officials have found no evidence of the suspect having been wanted, according to Flaherty. The motive for the shooting is not yet known. Always no motive. Always. How the shooting unfolded. Dermeyer was among about a dozen or so troopers participating in a specialized training on criminal interdiction practices. They were at the Greyhound Station as part of the training, which teaches troopers to look for suspicious activity and engage. Dermeyer approached the suspect. Just what a vague sentence. Shortly after the two started talking, the man pulled a gun and shot the trooper. Just think about this whole scenario. A training's going on at the station. Somehow, a civilian gets in there. He approaches an officer. A conversation starts. He just pulls out a gun and shoots him. That sounds like part of the drill. And I'm sure it was. Two troopers standing nearby returned fire. I had my hand on the door handle when I heard 2 gunshots go off. I didn't think they were gunshots, but then there were like 5, maybe 10, more than that, witness Brendan Hamilton told CNN affiliate WWBT. I ran out of there. I saw people coming out the front door, the side door, the door of the restaurant, and so I just bailed as fast as I could. The suspect was taken to a hospital, where he later died. I got to imagine that when the police are conducting a drill in a building, they close off the building and it's only police who are allowed to be in there. I don't know how there could be these witnesses to what happened that aren't police, or how any of this story could even be possible in the first place. Brandon, a name with 58 gematria though. Freemasonry. Likely a fictional character made up just for the reporting. The scene. The Greyhound Station was closed as it remained an active crime scene. Video showed multiple law enforcement agencies responding. Police cars blocked streets and yellow tape cordoned off the area. Greyhound said it was rerouting inbound schedules to its Richmond garage until further notice. And that's just part of the thing. These drills, these hoaxes, they mess with people's minds. They truly screw up people's days. People who were dependent on the bus, delayed because of this. There's just no respect for humanity in any of this. And the worst part is, we the people, the working slaves, are paying for this with our tax dollars, day after day. I noticed this morning on April 1st, they updated the headline at 1:13, of course. Number they love to code in their hoaxes: mainstream, dishonest, green screen, all equal 113. Baba Kama 113A says a Jew can circumvent a Gentile by lying to them. Jews own the media, lied to them on the daily. Scottish also equals 113, as in Scottish Rite Freemasonry. On the same day in Turkey, there was supposedly a bombing at a bus station that killed 7 police. The city it happened in has gematria of 53, just like Virginia has gematria of 53. Bus station, police dead. As I've said before, this Masonic hoaxing by the numbers, it is an international affair. Turkey's emergency dialing code is January 12th. This year on January 12th, they had a major bombing in their nation, reminding of how in the United States on September 11th, there was a major terror attack. More like terror hoax. But something tells me this bombing in Turkey, very much like this drill in Virginia. And a little lesson on April 1st, fools, jokes. The word joke itself has gematria of 41. Quite fitting for 4-1, April Fool, a joker's holiday. 41, the 13th prime, special number, king, hill, lock, key, USA, and more all have gematria of 41. Mom, home, all words with 41 gematria. So, today's date, significant number, and no doubt the mainstream media took advantage of it with this latest story. Richmond shooting at a police drill. Not even after the drill, but right during it. All right, truth seeker, until next time. Encore. I just went through the media headlines. I wanted to see if I could find the suspect name, if it had been put out yet. No one has put out the suspect name. It's now nearly 24 hours later. What I did find, though, is a more in-depth detail of where the victim's from, Chad Durmeyer. Not only is he from Michigan, he's from Jackson, Michigan, which has familiar gematria. Jackson, Michigan, 74 like Masonic, just like the initial spokeswoman's name. Also 137, the 33rd prime. Numbers already coded into the story. Numbers that are coded into nearly every shooting hoax. Remember, these numbers signify who is responsible: the Freemasons, the federal government, the people we need to stop giving our tax dollars and energy to. All right, until next time.